Hello, my name is John Drakey. I'm here with the Kansas City Kendo group, and we're enjoying the fact that we have an opportunity to teach you something about Kendo. Okay, first thing is Kendo is a Japanese form of swordsmanship. We are wearing an armor that protects us from being hit by a shinai. So I'll show you what that is. This is what we use. It's called a shinai. It's a sword made out of bamboo, and we actually hit each other with this, but that's okay because we're well protected. The protection starts with these gloves. They're called kote. They're made out of cotton and leather, and they protect our hands quite a ways up of our upper arms. They're called a kote. The next piece of protection that we have is called a men. It's our helmet. It's got a thick layer of cotton up here, metal frame, and it protects us from being hit. We also hit parts of the body. So the do protects our midsection. So those are the only areas that we're allowed to hit. Right wrist, we can hit at any time. Left wrist, we can only hit when it's above the shoulder. The center of the head, either side of the head, and the middle of the throat. Then we can hit either of these sides of the do. Those are our targets. Those are the only places we're allowed to hit. That makes it safe, but it allows us to go at full speed and at a reasonable amount of power. We're not trying to use brute strength. We're trying to use skill, finesse, speed, and timing. So to get that into your heads, I'm going to show you some basic strikes that we use as fundamentals. From there, I'll show you how that all wraps together in some sparring matches that we're going to do. So at the beginning, let's start out with Hyun and Holly. You're up. Okay, come on up. Holly, receive men's strikes, 4 from Hyun. This is the basic strike that we do. It's called the men's strike. The Japanese word for mask is called men. Even though it's a helmet, we're looking at it from the point of view of a mask, and that's the main strike that we go for most of the time. Okay, Han, the opposite is 4 kote strikes, please. Next strike is called a kote. This is a basic strike. It's closer than the men. It's a very opportunistic strike, and it's used by everybody. All right, thank you. You guys are both out. One thing you're noticing is the bowing. Whenever somebody learns a martial art from any of the Asian countries especially, you're going to incorporate the culture. And that's part of what you're getting here today. It's not just the fighting. You're seeing videos from other activities as well as what we're doing here for Kendo. So you're getting part of the reigi, the formalities, the culture that we're trying to express. James and Christopher, you're up. Come on up. Okay. Christopher, receive 4 does from James. So this is a move where the person strikes the right side of the opponent's abdomen and then draws across. In a real sword fight, this would be called a disemboweling cut. Notice after he hits, he tries to make contact, maintain contact, and draw it across the belly so that it would do what it would normally do in a real fight. Even though we are not performing real strikes and trying to kill our opponent, part of the do aspect of Kendo is to maintain the, in addition to us becoming better people through speed, courage, confidence, and those type of attributes, we're also trying to maintain the integrity of how a sword is supposed to be used. And we're not supposed to be sloppy, so those cuts have to hit, stick, and go through. The next one would be, James, please receive ski from Christopher. 4 times. This is a jab to the throat. It's only allowed by people with what's called a shodan or above, a black belt. Think of the black belt levels. Those are the only people that are allowed to do this. Children, no matter whether they have a shodan or not, or adults below that level do not get to do this technique. Okay, you're both out, thank you. Actually, Christopher, you stay. James, you're out. Holly, you're up. There is an exercise that we do called Kirikaishi. Kirikaishi shows the epitome of everything put together into one activity, and it's very important because it's even part of our testing for the lower ranks. Christopher's going to receive from Holly the strikes. This exercise brings together speed, timing, distance, power, focus, courage, all of that into one exercise. If you've figured this out so far, you've got 4 adults that are throwing sticks at each other's head. That's not a normal position to be in, right? And so they have to learn to not flinch. They have to learn to trust their skills. They have to learn that the other person's going to do what they're supposed to in the training part. So when they does come to a competition where they're actually fighting each other, they have the confidence to deal with the attacks, do counterattacks, do attacks on their own, and not waste time or impede their own abilities by being afraid or flinching. Okay? Go ahead. So she does a men strike first, pushes the opponent back, does 4 alternating just above the temple strikes are called yoko mens, forward, 5 back, repeats that whole thing and then hits men and goes through. Thank you. Wait. Okay, now we're going to start with the sparring. And this type of sparring is called jigeko. It's freestyle sparring. So if you think about like a boxer or a couple boxers that are out there in the ring and they're just sparring, they're not going for points, they're not stopping when somebody gets a point, and they're just going on and they're continually fighting. This is the same kind of principle. It's called jigeko. In Kendo, one of the nice things is that we don't have weight classes. It's not like judo or wrestling, where we separate people based on size. So somebody petite like me could fight somebody like Holly if we were in the same rank. So men can fight women, and tall people can fight shorter people, because we're not trying to use our brute strength. Like I said, we're trying to use finesse, timing, and the quality of our strikes, not brute strength. Okay, so we're going to start out with Christopher and Hyung. And I'm going to step off to the side a little bit. Right. Now they have to stay and maintain this position until I give the Japanese word for begin. This is a mutually defensible position. Nobody can do anything sketchy from this position because it would be obvious, and they have to wait here until I give that command. They will go until I give the command for stop in Japanese. So here we go. Hajime. Hai. 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 Now you've seen 2 instances of where both of the opponents have come together and hit each other basically at the same time. That's one of the distinctions about Kendo, is that they're not racking up points at this moment, because neither one of them has had a clean strike against the other without the other person touching them or making any other contact. So we have an overriding principle called Ki Ken Tai. Ki is our spirit, Ken is our sword, and Tai is our body. Okay? Those three have to be together to where they make a good strike with the effective part of the sword, with proper posture, proper spirit, and the right amount of strength. If they hit it too lightly, they don't get a point. If the other person is touching them when they hit, they don't get a point. If their posture's off, they don't get a point. So far, neither one of them has hit the other with an appropriate amount of proper technique. They're both hitting each other well, but because one's not getting a decided strike on the other one, neither one has gotten a point. And that's why we do this, because it's a way of honing our skills to try to get to the condition so that we can get a point when we're actually sparring for a competition. Now, I will admit, this is harder to do than usual for us. You'll notice that, this is a sport or an activity where the people are coming together. So we are wearing masks inside those helmets, which makes it a lot hotter. They can attack forward or back. Once they make the attack, they can separate either forward or back. Either way is fine. Menadi. That last strike was pretty good. Hyung got a men's strike against Christopher. Christopher wasn't engaged with him at the time, and Hyung recognized a good opportunity and took it. Yame! They have to go back to the original positions. Freeze. Okay, Holly and James, you're up. Wait. Hajime. So when we're fighting, like I said, part of it is our spirit. That is manifested in one way by the kiai, by us yelling when we initiate our targets or trying to intimidate our opponent. We have to time that attack with the kiai. Kote Adi. That was a beautiful kote strike to the right wrist. The other opponent wasn't engaged. Actually, I say they weren't engaged, but that's not actually true. They've been engaged before because they're actually married. So that's a nice benefit here too, because men and women can fight together, family members often within the same dojo. So we have parents and children, we have brothers and sisters, we have husbands and wives. Another good kote. Now, one good thing that Holly just did is that even though James attacked her and struck her, it may not have been an appropriate attack to warrant a point. So she still went ahead and made her counter attack in order to take advantage of the situation because he was open. So until you hear the judges yell out a point and see them raise the flags, when you're in a tournament situation, you still continue with the fighting. You don't stop until you hear Yame. Now, James just tried to do a disemboweling cut during a sparring session. And if it's done well, it's very beautiful to watch. It's very hard to do because it's hard to get underneath the opponent's attack and be able to generate such a clean strike. I'm going to go ahead and put on my helmet because I'm going to be the last fight. Energy? You sure?
As long as you don't go 5 minutes. Yeah.
We'll see. What next, boss? Hajime. So one of the things I just did a few minutes ago was I intentionally presented a target for him to take, which he then did and went through. One of the things in Kendo that's really nice is something called kohai and senpai. The senpai is the senior person, the kohai is the junior person. A lot of times within the sparring matches or in the training, the senior person will give the junior person some opportunities that they may not be seeing or taking advantage of. So we'll be here, and I may open up a target, and he takes it. So that's something really nice within the martial arts to help us get better. Thank you. Win today. Again, my name is John Drakey from Kansas City Kendo. I really appreciate you guys coming out to our virtual Japan Festival. Please remember next year, October 2nd, we are going to have the Japan Festival again, and we'd really like to see you out there. That way you can ask us questions in person, and you can come and watch us practice and fight in person. And we'll even have a workshop for you. So if you want, if this has gotten you excited and you want to try it, we'll have a workshop so you can get your hands on a shinai and you can hit some of these guys or me and give Kendo a try. Because we'd really like you to be part of our dojo if you're interested in it. Thank you very much. Again, Kansas City Kendo for the Japan America Society, Heart of America. Thank you.